Hello everyone, I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day with your Public Lands Council weekly weather update for this Saturday, September 25th, 2021. It's being brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors and WSR Insurance Services Incorporated. So this is what we're going to be talking about over the next week. These are the highlights for the western United States. First of all, quiet weather through this weekend and into the beginnings of the new week. However, I've got some good news for some of you. Decent rain chances are going to come in for the Pacific Northwest, parts of the desert Southwest, and some areas of the central and southern Rockies. As is usually the case, there's winners and losers, but some of you will get some needed precipitation here over the next 7 to 10 days. And also, there's no big outbreak of cold expected through early October. We had that cold surge come in over this past week, but it's been replaced by warmer temperatures, and that's how it looks. I think we're going to go through the rest of September and into the first week of October with no big outbreak of cold. Now, later on during this video, we'll talk about maybe when we can expect the next shot of colder weather in the west. Also, we've got a La Nina update for you. We have some new data coming in that will show us what we can expect. The La Nina, which has been largely responsible for the drought in the western United States over the last year and a half, we'll have an update on whether it's going to stay or go away. The latest Drought Monitor continues to show all the dryness and the severe drought conditions in the western United States, with some expansion of dry conditions across Oklahoma, parts of Texas here, and we continue to have parts of the Northwest Corn Belt that are better but still are quite dry as they go into their harvest operations there later on. But you can see by far the worst drought conditions are out here in the west, although we have seen some improvement. If you were to look at Drought Monitor conditions earlier this summer, you would see that the drought conditions, especially in this area right here, are worse than they are now, thanks to those monsoonal thunderstorms this summer. And some of these areas I'm showing are going to get some rain here in the coming days. If we were to compare the last 4 weeks to this week, has there been any improvement in the drought? The answer is yes and no. Anywhere you see gray on this map, your drought conditions haven't changed in the last month. If you've got a green area overhead, like here in parts of Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, parts of the Pacific Northwest, a few parts of Wyoming and Montana here, as well as the Northwest Corn Belt, those green areas show that drought conditions have gotten better. The yellow means that drought conditions have gotten worse. And you can see the front range of Colorado, southeastern Wyoming, western Nebraska here has really been dry over the last month relative to average. But let's take a look at what happens in the coming days. This is the upper level chart showing you where the jet stream pattern is. This is a chart that shows you where the wind and the pressure systems are, the highs and lows at 18,000 feet. This low here off the coast of Southern California is going to drift slowly like this through the Four Corners area towards Colorado in the coming days, while this low is going to swing into the Pacific Northwest late Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. These two pressure systems working together will bring a cooler pattern, nothing cold, but cooler, and some wet areas to parts of the western United States. By Wednesday, that low here in the southwest United States lifts north into eastern Colorado, and then we have a pretty good cold front that's gone through the northern Rockies and the Pacific Northwest with another low up behind it. So what this will mean is that as we get towards the middle of the week, the western United States will cool off, not a lot, but a little, and rain chances are going to get better. And here we are. This is for the next week. Anywhere you see green or blue, that's measurable rain. Chances are pretty good. As you get to those brighter colors, the oranges, the yellows, the reds, that's where the heavier precipitation will be. There are two main areas here in the west that have the best chance of getting wet. It'll be this area here, as that low comes out of the desert Southwest, even far Southern California might get a little moisture. This should all be in the form of rain and thunderstorms. Then, as that other low comes in from British Columbia into the Pacific Northwest, the coastal areas of Washington and Oregon and far northern California will get moisture and will get a little bit of rain over the Cascades in eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, parts of Idaho, and southwestern areas of Montana. Now, you probably have noticed there's an area here between these systems that looks to be dry. I'm going to put a D there for dry. It does look like west of the Continental Divide, these areas will be sandwiched between the systems and the rain chances won't be as good. So some of you will be happy with this map, some of you will not, especially in this area right here between weather systems. I think this area here will get help after the 10th of October, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So prospects for rain for some of you not looking all that bad by the middle to the end of next week. Now, longer term, when can we expect that next big shot of cold? Well, this map I'm showing you is for October 10th. So this is a week from this coming Sunday. What this shows you is that through the first probably 10 days of October, a westerly wind flow will be going across North America, especially the lower 48 states. This is a mild pattern. This will lead to temperatures close to normal or above normal. But what we have up here in this area right here is a lot of very cold air building up into Canada. And if you notice, the winds aloft are coming in from the northwest. So around or after October 10th, we're expecting the jet stream to take a dip like this, or maybe a dip like this, which would allow colder weather to spill into the Rockies, the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, and the Western High Plains. That will probably be a wave of a more significant magnitude. Colder temperatures, mountain snow, but I think it's going to be around or after that October 10th time frame before it gets here. Let's give you a La Nina update. Now this graph here is a little bit busy, but I just want you to know a couple of things when you look at this. This 0.0 line represents where sea surface temperatures in the tropical Pacific Ocean between South America and Australia, that 0 means sea surface temperatures are about what they should be. Now anything below that line means the sea surface temperatures are colder, and that's when we get a La Nina, when the Pacific near the tropics is colder. An El Nino is when the subtropical Pacific is warmer. The cold phase, or the La Nina phase, is what gives us dry weather in the western United States. We have been in some form of La Nina since spring 2020, and that's when it really started to get dry, and it's persisted since then. There's good news and there's bad news in this graphic, because what we're seeing, if you notice this green line, is the prediction of a La Nina continuing through the rest of the fall and into the winter. So between where we are today and all the way through, let's say, February, March, April, and the beginnings of, let's say, April timeframe, the La Nina is going to be in place, which is a dry signal for the western United States. However, this is the good news. Notice the screen line is getting up to that 0 mark. Indication suggests La Nina should be coming to an end hopefully by spring. And if it does, that means the spring and summer of 2022 does give us a better potential for better precipitation across all of the West. But we got to get rid of this La Nina first. Taking a look at the 30-day outlook through October 24th, this is the temperature forecast. Look at all these bright colors. This means that the rest of September and a good chunk of October is going to start off warmer than normal for most of Canada and most of the lower 48 states. Now, the blue and the white means temperatures closer to average. So what this means is that cooler weather is going to come in sometime. This is especially true once we get past that October 10th time frame. So while this looks really warm, and it will be here in the next couple of weeks, that is likely going to change. Now take a look at the precipitation over the next 30 days. This is encouraging. The green and the blue shows above normal chances of rainfall. Brown means below. What this is showing us is that the Pacific Northwest, California, parts of the Great Basin, parts of the Central and Southern Rockies, and parts of the High Plains actually have near to above average precipitation potential between now and October 24th. So this will be something to watch and hope that when we update you with next week's weather, that's something that we see again. But the trend does look a little more wet over the next 4 weeks. So the summary: rain for the Pacific Northwest early next week, desert Southwest later this weekend and into next week, and parts of the Central and Southern Rockies. Some of you are going to get rain. Some of you are going to miss out, but a fair amount of you have got some chances. Above normal temperatures for the most part for the rest of September into early October. But any significant cold is going to come around or after October 10th, and that October 10th time frame and beyond that is when livestock interest maybe start planning on maybe that's when we're going to have a cold snap. We'll see. We'll update you next week and see if we still see that on our long-range charts. Have yourself a great week ahead. Our next update will be Saturday, October 2nd.